And start. All right, welcome to another one interview. We have Honey and Alexandra in the house today. And we're beaming in from LA, which is so exciting to have you both together. So I appreciate everyone's time and getting together in this Zoom call. Yeah, so let's start off. Well, let's do pronouns first to start off and identity. And I don't mind going first. My pronouns are he, him, and identify as gay.
She, her, straight.
She, her, they, them, and I really had never thought about it, to be honest with you. I've never thought about the other question.
Okay, totally cool. Where did you first meet in the very first place? Like, I just want to back up.
We met at a whorehouse, and Honey was working. No, I don't.
I was in the kitchen making soup. Yeah. Girls got to eat, but not too much. It's going to be light.
That's right, because the price goes down.
Yeah, I think it was at Push Studios, and I was doing Dirty Dreams, right?
But is that what you met?
I'm not sure.
So weird. It feels like I've always known you because I saw you in Dirty Dreams, but I knew you. Well, I didn't know you like I know you now, but we had sort of become friends-ish by the time. That's the only reason I went to see Dirty Dreams is because you were in it. So I knew you by then.
Well, then I started out at Bugle Boy and then Cars and then Gentry. One day you came in after a show, I think, because you had heard about me or something, and you sat in the corner in a ponytail because you had done you always did like 2 or 3 shows. You would do a show and then you would get in your car and go across town to do another show and do another show. And ultimately that's what I was doing at some point too. But I think you heard about me and came to see a show at either Bugle Boy or Cars.
I honestly don't remember. And I have to say, I suddenly that I don't remember where we met. I don't remember the act of meeting you. I mean, that's how deep you are in my life. I feel like you've always been in my life. I feel like we worked together at Club Victoria.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I know the way I feel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I remember we were doing at Push Studios on Broadway, we were doing Dirty Dreams, and below at Straw Dog, you were doing Gertrude and Stein and Friends, or Gertrude and Company.
Friends. Gertrude Stein's variety show, Gertrude Stein and Friends. No, it was Gertrude Stein and a Companion, which was directed by my wife, Chris Ann Blankenship. And yeah, we were above and below each other, I think.
And you saw Dirty Dreams, and then you stayed afterwards to talk to me because you enjoyed the show. And then, then there was a few other things that are, I tried to befriend you quicker. And you're like, call my agent.
I did not. I remember you were doing a show where it was called A Taste of Honey.
Yeah. And I tried to get you to go into the show, and you said, call my agent.
I said, darling. But here's the thing. Everyone was talking about you.
Yeah.
And I mean, coming up to me and talking about you. And I kept going, who is this woman? And this was a long time ago. You weren't lip syncing.
No.
So you weren't drag queen. You were singing a song. So you were singing live, which was very strange. But you weren't really trans. Like you weren't really, back then we used the word transsexual. So you weren't really, I had no idea what the hell was going on. So I was fascinated. And you had backup dancers and costume changes, and I'm like, where's this bitch? What's going on? It was like you came into town from Las Vegas like you were Anne Margaret or something. But I never did see the show, I don't think.
Yeah.
So you were fans of each other's work in a lot of ways, and that reminds me of actually Lily Tomlin said that she sat on the stairs and watched Joan Rivers act before, and I just thought, wow, that's so cool that these legends are like fans of each other, and they watched each other work. So that sounds like that to me. So
it's absolutely true. And that's such a great word that you use too, because I am a huge fan of hers. I mean, she's the closest thing in the world to me besides the human I married. But I'm literally a fan. I could watch Honey West work for hours and have.
It's the same, the same.
Very
Yeah.
good. So when is the last time that you sang together? How about that?
Has it been a couple decades?
Least girl, at least. The
Yeah.
last thing together was at the Bailiwick, that show that's on your Honey West Chicago thing.
Oh, that's true, but that was for a benefit.
Yeah, but that was our last like gig together publicly.
Yeah, but the gig before that was at 3160 North Clark.
That's right.
And a lot of the stuff on my YouTube channel is from there. Yeah, then we did do that benefit for something.
Yeah, but that was, girl, what, 15 years ago?
It's a long time. A
Mhm.
long time. Yeah.
Amazed. I have to be honest, it amazed me that when we decided to do this, that the tickets were selling the way they were. I was shocked people remember us. I
Yeah.
really was shocked and very touched, I have to say.
Yeah. We thought we'd do a nice little show in the Venus, which is 80 seats. And within days, I think it completely sold out.
Yeah.
That was fun. And we were, I was excited. I was like, oh, people remember us, or they're going to come see us. That would be nice. And then people started getting angry.
Yeah.
They started getting, pitchforks and torches. And I'm like, okay, well, wow. So you see in the background, this is the Mercury Theater, which is more of 230 seats, I believe. And we were already sold to almost the last 3 roles. And there's still some room in the bank. So we may actually, within the next few weeks, sell out the Mercury as well, which would be great because it's going to be packed with friends, family, people that had seen us work before. It should be a really, no matter how awful we are, it should be a fun experience.
Yeah, I was just going to say that means we have to actually have an act, I guess.
Well, there's that. Yeah. It's easier to rehearse when we're in the same city.
Is it?
Yeah. It's gonna be a busy week of tech. How do you pick the songs that you're gonna sing? Is there a song that you feel you have to play because the fans want that song?
I've gotten approached over and over and over. Are you going to do that one? Are you going to do that one? It's like Wayne Newton, that you have people that know you from a certain time when you did certain things, and they want that. So we were going to add more new material, and then slowly I kept saying, well, they want this, they want this. And I think when we talked yesterday, Alex came to the same conclusion. I was going to do this and this, and then I was like, but people want this and this. So yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff people are going to remember, and maybe a few new things. How's that?
Yeah, and duets and then solo.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We came up with a format. Even when Alex and I worked at the Gentry together, we came up with a format. She always wanted me to start the show. So we would do a couple duets and banter, and then I would do a set, and then we'd do a couple duets, and then she'd do a set, and then we end with a couple duets. And that's something that, I don't really care either way. I'll do whatever. But that seemed to be very comfortable, and yeah, it just seemed to work out for us.
All right.
It's a formula.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so we're talking some Judy Garland might be in the house, some Barbara. What kind of
He's talking to you.
Yep. Gee, I don't know. I haven't picked out my set yet. I know there's a couple of things that I'm going to do with the rest. I really don't know. I am so frightened by this thing. I'm so terrified. So I think about it for a couple of minutes, and then I start shaking, and then I'm like, you know what? Worry about it later. So I'm waiting till I get closer to the thing to like really solidify stuff.
Jerry, the way cabaret has always worked, I think when it's at its best, and I know for myself and Alex, when I started doing cabaret, even the 4-hour shows, I never had a set list.
Mm.
So when people came in or however I was feeling, I was fortunate, gifted to work with accompanists that would do anything that came out of my face. And so I would work the crowd. And I think in an intimate space, ideally that's the best way to do it. Alex is a little bit more organized and formula. You know, you have a more of a idea of how you want to do it with the structure. And we learned a lot from each other doing that. But
Yeah.
being in a larger space, I think it's still going to be, there's flexibility within the show that we can do whatever we want.
I think people are coming to watch me screw up the lyrics.
That's why I'm there. I want to see that.
That's why I have gotten so many messages, girl, about us doing Money, the cabaret from Cabaret, show Cabaret, because I mean, I know it, but I get, I get confused. Especially the older I'm getting, the more confused I get. And I wrote this one person back. It was lovely, very, just great. And I said, why do you love that song? It's got 3 notes in it. And they said, because we love to watch you balance the ball on your nose.
Mm.
With Alex, you never know whose nose she's going to balance it on because, she's an incredible mimic. So you may, who knows who will pop out.
Right.
Or insane. Incredibly gifted or insane.
Either one of those.
Well, I want Creep. I love when you did Creep at the Steppenwolf Gala, and it just blows the house away. I mean, that song, I know it's challenging, but oh my gosh, you're so great at that one in particular.
It's a great song. I've been singing that for a while. It's a great, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to figure, I can't everybody wants me to do all these big ballads, and we got to make a choice. So I'm trying to figure it out. I really am. I'm trying to figure it out, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, very good. Let's see. Is there a cabaret performer that you particularly love? Either one of you?
Her.
Yeah. Any?
I love Karen Mason.
Okay.
Love Anne Hampton Calloway. I love Amanda McBroom. And if we go back into the Chicago vaults, I loved Miss Ginger Tam. She sang like a pop star. I never understood what the heck she was doing in a nightclub. She sounded like Mariah Carey. It was just mystifying to me. Becky Menzie.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
These are all people when I first started in cabaret who were my teachers, and I would sit and Tom Michael, I would watch them and watch what they did and watch how, because I didn't, what did I know? I knew from 1950s, Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and Rosemary Clooney. What did I know? And I watched them build their act. I watched them, and then I got to watch Honey. So I got to watch all these people do this thing that I really wanted to do. I thought was fascinating. So a lot of my idols are Chicago staples.
Yeah. And really, there's no one better than Becky Menzie at any of this.
My
It's
God.
just magic.
Well, Becky has this, first of all, she is exactly who she is from the minute she leaves the piano to when she gets behind the piano.
Yeah.
There is no falseness, there's no mask, there's no sense of bravado or ego. She is so present. I've never seen this before. She's very much like Amanda McBroom. Amanda McBroom is like that too. But Becky has a way of welcoming you. It's the same thing you do, honey. I don't do it as well as you do, of welcoming these people into their space in a way that doesn't feel like a nightclub. It feels like you're sitting down in this really cozy living room, in the old 1950s Hollywood party days, and somebody's going to get up and sing a song. And Becky seamlessly goes from, what do you want to hear? What do you want to do? To, now I'm going to sing a song about my relative or my friend. Her banter was seamless and still is.
When she'll be talking, but when she starts singing, it's almost like there's a glow that comes out of her. There's no more honest, authentic pure musical experience you can get from her
Mm.
than from her. And I'll tell you, it's to be in an intimate space, if you're not honest, if you don't lay it all out there, either simply or in somebody's face, then it doesn't leave the piano.
Mhm.
So that magic of just authentically being more you once the music starts is, I think, the key to any success in it.
Yeah, she's also super generous and supportive, and that's what I like about her. And I'm gonna invite her to go with me now because I didn't know this is turning into the Becky fan
She's
club.
coming.
Oh, she's coming already. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was accompanying, who's doing the company for the show?
Chuck Larkin,
Okay.
who is brilliant. He used to play for a lot of people, Ginger Tam regularly. And I'll tell you, Becky not only did and does what she does personally, but all the open mics and all the other people she plays for, she is the backbone of a cabaret in this city. She's, yeah, she's touched every cabaret performer personally, if
I
not.
think that's really important what you just said, honey, because there's a lot of names thrown around for all of us as performers, and I think it's really important that we acknowledge people who have not only been in the business for a number of years, but have been in the business and have maintained a generosity of spirit that
Yeah.
hasn't wavered, and that's who Becky Menzie is.
Yeah.
Hmm. What's it like in LA, Alex, from, the supportive Chicago community? I mean, do you find that in LA sometimes, or what's the difference?
Oh, there are great things and not so great things about all places all over the world. So, I don't necessarily know that it's better or worse. It's a very different business. This is basically movies and television. There are some nightclubs, but they don't really, exist on a large scale. So it's a very different business. And you have to remember that when you're making movies and television, you get up at 5 a.m. You're in hair and makeup at 6, you're on the set at 8, you work until 5, and you get out of hair and makeup. By the time you go home and have your dinner, it's time to go to bed and wake up and do the same thing. So it's a very different lifestyle out here, where Chicago, a lot of people are in the theater. So we sleep until noon and have breakfast at 1, call our friends. It's a very, very different social animal. So I love both places. I always say I was born here in California, but I was raised in Chicago.
Mhm. We're excited about having you back. And I love the support of everybody buying tickets already, and we're gonna sell it out. That'll be my goal with Windy City.
Very cool.
Yeah, so individual questions a little bit. So Queen Tut, I hosted the Reeling Q&A, but we couldn't promote it with the strike going on. But I just want to say people showed up, and and I think we did some video just to show you what it was like. And so I just wanted to say you were such a force in that movie, and I wish we could have promoted it, with you in person, but I just wanted to say that,
Things happen, and the business it's a funny business. It's changing like mad all the time, so it couldn't be helped. But that was a incredibly joyful experience making that film.
They were really good. Honey, for the Grabbies, you're gonna keep doing this forever, right? I mean, what's it like for you now compared to before? And I saw you this last year.
You know what? I'm not sure what's going to happen next year, to be honest. I did it for 25 years, and I'm hoping I'm going to be on tour next year, either by myself or with Alex.
Okay, I was wondering that if there would be a tour.
Yeah. It's, I can say, oh, I'm going to do this. And she says, oh, I'd like to do that. But then there's 10 people she's got to contact, and then people and agents and managers and assistants, and they've got to get on the schedule and on the calendar, and then she's got to make sure that she's a very complicated woman.
Is there going to be an album? Do you want to work on an album maybe together?
Second one to say that, girl. I think someone is trying to tell us something.
Yeah, we should. I think we should do a couple projects, one of all the stuff that people enjoy that we've done, and then maybe all new stuff.
I think it's a really good idea. This is the second person in 3 days that's talked about you and I doing an album together. We've
Mhm.
never done that. Isn't that funny? But and Honey and I were talking about this back in the day. It was much more difficult to do a CD, and now you can do it in your living room.
Yeah.
So
Back in the day, dropping some vinyl was a complicated process. That's music lingo, dropping some vinyl.
these are my headphones. These are my headphones. Um, yeah. So and you're the second person into. I think we should do it. I think
Yeah.
we need to focus on doing that.
If you're ever in one place for more than a couple days, we can do it.
Okay, well, in Chicago.
I'll come knock on your door again.
You God, don't put me in the hospital. She surprised me about 2 months ago and knocked on my door, and it was in LA. She flew from Chicago to LA, which is completely unlike her getting on a plane is going somewhere.
Had you responded to one of my texts, I wouldn't have had to done that. But listen,
Don't start with me.
Well, now you can do it in Chicago, show up on Honey's doorstep and,
That's
Yeah.
right. I'm going to tell her I'm coming and then surprise her at the show.
fantastic.
What do you think about, so what's your thoughts on the new Wicked movie? What's your thoughts on that?
Haven't seen it.
Well, Alex, really, like, what have you heard? I mean, no one's seen it yet. We've only seen, I heard it's great, dailies, but I don't know. You think?
Sure, it is. I mean, I mean, I hope it is. The musical is extraordinary. And I hope it is. I think the people that are involved are doing it with great intentions. I hope it turns out that way. It looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely fantastic. And I said to my one of my agents, I said, if it wasn't going to be me, at least it was Michelle Yeoh. So I'm fine being replaced. I have no problem with that.
Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, she seemed nice. I met her really brief. So what's future projects besides this? I mean, maybe going on tour, maybe an album, but what are you both kind of working on that we can kind of promote to at the end?
I'm writing a show called The Boy in the Tutu, which is kind of, what is autobiographical and yeah. And ironically, Alex just did a big reading in New York of her show, He, She, and Me. So it's weird that Alex and I are very, apparently we seem very different, but our lives do like parallel things in a really odd, weird way where, I wouldn't talk to her for months and I'd say, this is going on in my life. And she's, girl, that's what's going on in my life. So it's odd. I don't know what's happening.
Well, I think it's a connection you and I have always had. And I really believe this, honey. I think it's one of the reasons I don't remember meeting you. You've always seemed just a part of me. So yeah.
If they were to make a movie about your life, who would play you?
Great. I just want to say, I think what's great, especially now, is that you have two trans elders in the community that are writing autobiographical pieces. I think that needs to be said and underlined, and I think it's really important. We live in precarious, as we all know, we live in precarious times right now. And it's really important not only that the transgender voice is heard, but honored. So this thing that Honey and I are trying to embark on, I think, just needs to be seen in a way that's amplified, so that it's not about we're putting on a show. It's not about ego. This really is about trying to create portals of understanding and information, and that's really what Honey and I have always tried to do throughout our performing lives.
And Alex many times has said that, we stand on many shoulders. And that's always resonated with me because we do stand on many shoulders, and people that are standing on our shoulders are going to have other people standing on their shoulders. I don't know if the younger generation understands how much the history is really important to know, because they're benefiting from history just as I am, and Alex from people from generations before us. And well, I think they're starting to understand, I hope, that all the things we've gained and taken for granted I might be the next battles that we have to fight.
Yeah.
And those will be their battles. So I hope they get more informed, and I hope they get ready for that.
Yeah. And you can put a little bit of history in the show, right? With just your stories and, you know, what you've been through, and then other people get to see that. So that's going to be great.
Yeah. Alex mentioned to me a couple months ago, it's like, we don't exist. Trans women of a certain age, sadly enough, many of us don't make it this long, either for violence, murder, lack of proper health care, or whatever. But there's no example for people on how to age into being an older trans person. And it's just nice to, not that we set the example, but it's just nice to know that there is an example.
Yeah, right. I mean, I worry about history books and all kinds of stuff because we're not getting taught LGBT history. Like that's,
No,
we're getting erased, what you're saying. Yeah.
all marginalized people.
Mhm.
We weren't taught history. We were taught what people wanted us to know. And
it's really important that we all understand, and everyone who's listening understands, that if in fact this this cult that is pretending to be a political party takes power, one of their top 5 activities once they gain this crown will be to eliminate the Department of Education. And we're already, as you said, eradicated the queer history from any kind of mainstream teachings by any kind of mainstream teachers. And if they take power, it's going to be a long time before you'll hear about Stonewall, before you'll hear about, you know, anything that we have done to get to where we are. So it's really important that we remember not only where we came from, but what's possible.
yeah.
And I'm with the Critics' Choice, and I was the one that started the LGBT committee, and we made a big ceremony in LA. So I'll send you both a link to that if you could see the representation and the speeches and everything. You know, when big names came out to that ceremony, it was really important. And you know, Charlize Theron and people like that were supporting, you know, trans people. So I'm going to send you both a link to that. And we worked really hard on it. There was a lot of trans representation and awards given to people. So I want you to see that.
Right.
So I got to wrap it up, but if there's a movie about your life, who would you want to play you? Final question. You have somebody famous that you would, just a dream person?
Maybe Kathy Bates.
Yeah, I love that one.
Want Kathy Bates to play you?
Well, maybe I need someone to play a younger me, because I can't play a younger me anymore. So
No, you can't. Can they be? Do they have to be alive? Can they be an old famous person?
Sure, why not?
I think I would like Katharine Hepburn to play me.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I think I would like that.
Did you watch the Faye Dunaway documentary? Just
not yet.
It's fantastic. Oh, girl. Honey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
No,
please
I
get
have
that.
not seen it, but
Oh, you have it?
I saw it listed, but I did not watch it yet.
Girl, you need to watch. You need to sit down. Is brilliant. It's absolutely everything you want it to be about Faye Dunaway. It is riveting. It's one of the documentaries I've seen on a famous person.
I just closed a show and I was so consumed with trying to work and do the show. Now I'm gonna have more time, so I'm gonna start doing stuff.
Okay. Well, I got to wrap it up. Thanks so much for your time today. We'll get the article out and I will see you at the show. I look so forward to seeing it. So
Yay.
thanks for your time today.
Thanks, love.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.